Welcome back to the show, everybody. Check this headline out here. Brad Garlinghouse has said 99% of cryptos will probably go to zero. Well, today we're going to look at some important information, some you've seen before and some probably not. But you're going to see some information today that may just show us exactly how that could happen, how stable coins could cause the greatest crypto collapse in the history of cryptocurrency. Somebody roll that beautiful intro.
Digital Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. You can follow me on Twitter at Dig Perspectives at the top of the screen, everything that we're talking about here today. And follow us on TikTok at Digital Perspectives, no spaces. It's growing crazy over there. Exclusive content. Check it out. Right now, we're at $1.055 trillion plus for the market cap, ladies and gentlemen. We are up 4.1%. I don't know about you. Maybe I'm just cynical, but I'm expecting some kind of news, whether it's Gary Gensler coming out and squashing the market with his comments, or whether we see Mt. Gox released 150,000 Bitcoin on the market, that Bitcoin from that debacle, or some other event. Every time we get to $1 trillion plus, I'm always expecting something to happen to suppress the market once again until we get stablecoin regulation at the very least. That's what I'm seeing, and we'll keep an eye out for it. Now, let's go ahead and get started. Right now, Bitcoin right now is 22,100 plus, Ethereum 1,400 plus. It's been on a bit of a tear, up 26+% on the 7-day. XRP right now is 36 cents, and it's up 11.8% on the 7-day. Let's look at the range of price very quickly here. It is 34 cents on the bottom, 37 on the top. We're going to keep an eye on it. Look at this very quickly here. Fed officials signaled they are likely to raise interest rates by 0.75% or 0.75 points for the second straight meeting. Policymakers left the door open to a large 1-point increase, but some of them simultaneously poured cold water on the idea. Well, you know what? It's probably coming because they are having trouble getting on top of the inflation. And that's what raising the rates is all about. And looking at the UK has lost another prime minister meeting. The next 2 months will be spent in limbo while another is selected. Whoever it may be will be face a steep economic hill to climb, with inflation set to reach 11% and in recession fears adding to the mix. Well, this is shared by GlintPay, and I can tell you that with the Fed, whether you're in the U.S. or you're in the UK or some other part of the world, this seems to be the narrative for all of us, is that there is inflation and it's running away. And that's why I'm using GlintPay. I'm glad to work with them, but I'm even more happy to be a customer. And I can tell you right now, being able to buy gold that I can save on my card or my app so I can buy, save, send, and spend wherever I want to. Oh yeah, that's what I'm talking about. You can get physically allocated gold if you click the link underneath the video and check it out for yourself. I tell you, that is a remarkable opportunity right now. And don't forget very quickly here, it's Kava. The launch is August 31st for Kava 11. And don't forget, live footage of protocols rushing into Kava networks as we speak, ladies and gentlemen. They are the fastest growing blockchain for protocols. Don't miss Scott Stewart on August 31st when the Kava 11 launch goes on for the AMA. That's going to be a really cool event. Make sure you give them a follow as well. I will put that information underneath the video for you. Okay, right here, let's take a look at this very quickly. All right, now take a look at this. Now, we've all said it before, but this is the former president at Hedera, Tom Trowbridge, and he's going to talk about Ethereum. Not a YouTuber, not a podcaster. You're going to want every bit of what he says here, and it absolutely aligns with everything we've covered. The Hinman speech was absolutely for the purpose of creating a monopoly for Ethereum and to disguise whales who own most of it. That's exactly right. It is not decentralized. Don't be fooled, ladies and gentlemen. Shout out to Digital Asset Investor and Nerd Nation. Take a listen.
The framework that I'm kind of talking to is when you raise money either by selling tokens or by selling a SAFT, which is a simple agreement for future token, you are clearly raising money as a security. The question is there a point at which that can be deemed a utility down the road? And is there a path to do that? And right now, Ethereum, as an example, is deemed a utility. If there isn't a path to do that, then effectively Ethereum has a monopoly on being a utility token. And I don't think that is what is intended or serves the best interest of the world at large or the community for sure.
Absolutely. So well said by him. And we have been pounding the ground about that. And listen, we need to continue to do so. And let's tag the people like Tom Emmer, Warren Davidson, Patrick McHenry. Let's tag all of these people that will be involved with the House Committee hearing, the Financial Services House Committee hearing that is coming up. We want to be able to tag these people politely and professionally and ask them about ETHgate. Will they conduct and ask for an investigation, a congressional investigation into the SEC and everything that's taken place there? We have shown clear evidence that there is something wrong in many different ways in that. And then not to mention, let's add also when we contact them, let's also talk about the idea that we need to talk about Bitcoin and why it has not been disclosed who the 4 people that the Homeland Security Special Agent said they went and interviewed that are in fact Satoshi Nakamoto. Why is that public disclosure not made evident to every investor? You know, I tell you, these are troubling matters. But I mean, listen, I know myself and one other person who's pounded the ground in the YouTube world about all of this is Digital Asset Investor and myself. Shout out to him. These things are not correct. And I think with the evidence that you're about to see here in a few minutes, I think we're going to find there's going to be a lot more hurt coming to this space before we see the clear skies. I can tell you that. Right here is former SEC Commissioner John Reed Stark. He says the SEC is 94-0. They're winning all these cases. And he says, including Ripple. Take a listen to here.
Well, I think the last time Cornerstone did a report this year, and I think they said the SEC was 94-0. And it's because these cases aren't like shooting fish in a barrel. Okay, the SEC hasn't lost a single one of them on any matter. I mean, occasionally maybe there's a motion where they don't get everything they want, like the recent Ripple motion kept the defense of fair notice alive, and the SEC wanted to quash the defense before there was even any consideration of it, which, I'm not surprised they lost that, but I don't have any faith in that defense in any way. Well, I think...
this is the kind of arrogance and conceit that you hear from people that have been at the SEC. But what I can say is that on a play to his comments, I think we could see something like what John Deaton has suggested multiple times, where you see a split decision where the SEC can claim a victory and so can Ripple. So don't let this kind of arrogance make you feel like it's all for naught, because we know for a fact, and it was covered in an excellent article by Rosalind Layton, that Judge Netburn absolutely eviscerated the SEC for their lack of unfaithful allegiance to the law. Jed McCaleb, right? 9 billion XRP from his famed taco stand wallet ended on Sunday. A marathon sell-off that has been happening for 8 years in the making. Done. Gone. Now, here's what I say to that. I don't know about you, but I find it fascinating that Jed could sell 9 billion XRP and never be mentioned in the SEC versus Ripple case or stop from selling it. It may be my speculation, but I feel the sales were obligated. He had no choice but to sell them, and can't help but wonder who bought all of that XRP from Jed. The Fed? The Treasury? These questions, I believe, are really valid, and they deserve some answers. Again, just as I think there should be public disclosure about Bitcoin, I think there should be public disclosure about where the sales of Jed's stash went. I don't think that, look, I'm trying to come at this in a fair way here, in a very level way, which is something the SEC has a problem doing themselves. We need to know that answer. I also believe that, as Big Skinny has said, I don't believe Jed got rid of all of it. I think he kept some of it for himself. I know he has a lot of money, but why wouldn't you hold something that is going to be worth a lot of money, especially if you were a co-creator of it? And I do believe that. My speculation, not financial advice. Michael Branch, right here. Yes, sir. My brother from another mother, Hall of Famer right here. This is his new account. Don't mess around. Go give him a follow. This is Michael Val 5 Links. His account was hacked. And this is where you need to follow him so you can stay up on the news, ladies and gentlemen. Michael, we appreciate everything you do, and we'll do whatever we can to help you get back to the level you were at. Finance ministers and central bank governors from the G20 nations spoke about the need for cross-border cooperation and stablecoin regulation at a recent meeting. Stay with me here. This is the part you've been waiting for. You're going to want every bit of this, ladies and gentlemen. Trust me on this one. G20 nations affirm need for cross-border coordination and stablecoin regulation. Now, on its face, you say to yourself, now, Brad, why are we making a big deal about this, Brad? Well, I'm about to tell you why. Because I think this is exactly what Brad Garlinghouse was talking about, and I'm going to show you that in a second. It says governmental figures from the G20 nations confirmed often touted action crypto market, saying that cross-border coordination and stablecoin regulation was necessary. We all know this, but G20 meeting took place in Indonesia just 2 days ago. Now, you're hearing that now, aren't you? Bank head finance ministers doubled down on the need to cooperate, something that has become a major talking point in recent months. This is at the G20, ladies and gentlemen. This is happening. Oh, but it gets better. All parties support strengthening coordination and implementation of relevant international standards, focusing on preventing cross-border spills. Remember that. Focusing on preventing cross-border spills and maintaining global financial stability. Remember those things. We're going to need to remember that for just a few minutes. All parties support the continued implementation of G20 cross-border payment roadmap, agree to strengthen cross-border coordination, and strictly supervise various types of crypto assets, such as stablecoins. Do you remember this report from the Group of 30? Digital currencies and stablecoins came out in 2020. Should take a look at this. 2019 even. It's 2020 when the report came out. But what I want to start with here is there's a section in here that deals with stable coins. And I want to give you just a piece of it. When stable coins achieve sufficient scale, they may pose challenges in competition and antitrust policies. Especially if a global stablecoin arrangement could lead to market concentration. I remind you now, one of those young lawyers that was brought on to the legal team for Ripple has a background in antitrust laws. Global stablecoin providers may become natural monopolies due to the strong network effects of all the utility and liquidity and collateral being brought on to their networks. The large fixed costs needed to establish operations at scale and exponential benefits of access to data. Remember, data is king in this world. But what I want to show you now is this little section on Tether right here. Tether is a privately issued stablecoin, which we all know, but stay with me, whose history points to the need for a clear regulatory framework for private digital currencies. A stablecoin is a cryptocurrency whose price is the same or approximately the same as a native fiat currency. This could be arranged, for example, through a promise of convertibility against the fiat currency backing or based on backed assets, such as bank deposits. Stablecoins could be issued by commercial banks, fintech firms, or other entities. Listen to this. At present, Tether, with a market cap as of mid-June 2020, was $9 billion. It's now plus $66 billion. Is by far the most popular stablecoin, accounting for 95% of the exchange volume and about 81% of the market capitalization of all stablecoins. Now, I firmly believe that the USD coin has risen to the level, and it appears it is the chosen one, and I believe unofficially it is the official U.S. digital dollar. That's what I believe for retail. Now, I could be wrong, and if I am, I'll make the video. But what I want to show you here is this 95% of exchange volume. Now, we also know, if you've done any research on your own, USD coin doesn't have near the list of pairing to cryptos at this point that USD Tether does. Brad Garlinghouse said back in 2019, 99% of cryptocurrencies will probably go to zero. I'm inclined to agree with him. I have shown you guys here clear and away the CTO on CNBC admit that they have no outside firm accounting the reserves to back USD Tether. They admit they have no commercial paper. They have no treasury bonds. It is a mess. And you know what? I believe you're going to see the collapse of USD Tether for those reasons, because I am trying to get someone to explain to me how in the world Tether can be anything other than a publicly advertised digital counterfeit dollar by a private company. It's unregulated, it's unlicensed, and it's non-compliant, obviously, from the CNBC interview that I showed last week. And if you were to collapse it, and the U.S. government go after and collapse it, the majority of money, I believe, would flood then into high ground, which is the trusted USD coin, and other alts and cryptos that you feel safe in. But let me ask you this question. Understanding that USD coin is not paired to as many cryptos and alts as USD Tether is established and paired to, how do you cash out? A lot of you are going to say, well, I'll just convert to a bigger coin like Ethereum and I'll cash out that way, or Bitcoin. Okay, well then you're coming back out either through USD coin or you're not coming out at all. Uh-oh, do you see what's happening? This is how you get control of a digital market. By bringing in the regulation and compliance, you can collapse USD Tether by exposing the truth that was exposed on CNBC. And from there, the confidence will be pushed into USD coin, which, by the way, is completely transparent and highly regulated. And also trusted enough that Circle is also releasing the Euro coin in the same manner that it's doing the USD coin. Come on in. Then let us not forget what I asked you to remember when we got into this thing. The G20 talking about focusing on preventing cross-border spills and maintaining global financial stability. In that same report, it was Mark Carney, the former president of the Bank of England, who said in 2019, when it comes to coordinating the introduction of global official sector stablecoins, has raised the question of whether a globally coordinated systemic hegemonic currency could dampen the spillover shocks, just as the 2 days ago the G20 talked about, associated with the dominance of the US dollar as a reserve currency. A systemic hegemonic currency could, for example, be a stablecoin backed by a basket of deposits at a different central bank. It is possible that such a stablecoin could be valuable for cross-border payments, serving a function similar to that offered in the private sector by Ripple. A real-time gross settlement system, currency exchange, and remittance network whose digital currency XRP leapfrogs slow and expensive correspondent banking. Where it stops, nobody knows. But I tell you this, it's getting exciting, ladies and gentlemen. If you never thought that stablecoin legislation was so important, I urge you to consider that notion now. They can make 99% of cryptos go to zero by simply collapsing USD Tether, because USD Tether does not, to the admission of the CTO from USD Tether, does not hold the reserves in a compliant, regulated manner. That's going to do it for me. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe. Leave a comment below. Not financial advice from me or anyone else, just my digital perspectives. I'll catch all of you on the next one.